Anyway, the Vulcan gets pissed off. Don't worry. We have Data No all locked up tight at the moment on the bridge.
Yeah.
He's on the he's locked up tight on the bridge. You guys are gonna torture him on the bridge.
And if I'm not mistaken, he's on a ship that's hovering just above the planet that they were just
We're in
60
atmosphere again.
yards down below. Like, why wouldn't he be below where they were just doing the interrogation of Giorgio?
It seems like the mines are probably infinite for
According
you
to
know.
that CGI, it went a good distance.
So you guys can't find a nook for him to be in. You can't find a little dark corner. If you guys are gonna hide out in the mines over here. Also, again, we're the ship's in orbit, out of orbit. The ship was just at Giorgio's fucking casino station, right? And now it's in atmosphere 20 feet above the ground.
Is that a created atmosphere too? Is that the planet that had all the little burning things?
Yeah, the random sparks of fire.
Yeah, I assume that's part of terraforming, or at least atmoforming.
Good enough.
Yeah, that
Good
seems
enough.
like something that would add carbon dioxide to the air. That
Sure,
you're
that you
burning
need
things
to-
off, and then later you add plants to the planet or something.
Sure.
I was trying to give them excuses why
Yeah,
their set pieces
it's
were
still
there.
still dog shit. Still dog shit. This interrogation scene lasts all of a fucking minute because she hits him, he hits him, and then he's like, "Well, what? I thought you guys were playing good cop, bad cop. I thought she was gonna punch me. Blah blah blah. If you don't tell us what you were gonna do, I'm gonna tell you how I got the information, how I was gonna get betrayed in my mirror universe."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Whisper, whisper, whisper.
Oh my god.
And then he spills his guts.
Everything's done from this point on. Let's not worry about it. Not to mention, it's all based on assumptions that didn't make any sense. She goes, "That's not your Data No. That's got to be mirror Data No." Why would that have to be? How did they come to that conclusion?
This is a random guess.
Something
dark.
came from the other universe, and you went, the guy I just found it with must be from the other universe. No, the object is. You already know it's on the black market. It doesn't imply anything about the last person you've seen it with.
No, not at all.
This is when a lot of this plan starts to break down, which I think I'll bring up more later, but they had no proof of that. It wasn't necessary in the plot, but if he is really just giving up everything at that point, then his story really doesn't help the plot very well, because if he was just a guy working at a weapons depot near the edge of the Empire, first of all, you wouldn't put the most powerful weapon at the edge of the Empire. It would probably be as close to the middle as you could have it, where it would be the most secure. Second of all, if you're just a random guy at this place, it sounds to me like more people would know about it. So there's no actual particular reason why it would be this guy over anybody else. And there's not much of an explanation as to who he planned on selling it to, other than a general idea in the mirror universe that he would sell it to somebody and then live comfortably here. Problem being, if you sell it to somebody here, you can't live comfortably anywhere, because you don't know whether you'll be in the reign of destruction of this machine. But he is planning on selling it to somebody at the portal, at where they go from the mirror universe to this universe. So does he already know that it's going to be a mirror universe person? I guess if I'm going to give the movie as many benefits of the doubt as I can, then he does. But that implies that a person knew that he took it out of the mirror universe and then would come back to this portal, which means that that person, one, already knows about the portal, two, doesn't have the power to do anything about this guy, which causes issues later, because I don't know if I'm skipping ahead too much, but is San, whatever his name is he already the head of the Terran Empire in the mirror universe? And Giorgio has just been on our end of in our universe long enough that he was able to come to power? And I guess because this scene already happened and we've already implied that San is still alive, the reason why that doesn't make any sense is that if you're in the throne room of the Emperor and you die, somebody comes to clean up your body.
It's true.
You don't fake it because somebody goes, hey, that body wasn't there. You know, you said go clean up that body.
Yeah.
It's not there.
It's gone now.
Somebody
I don't
is
know.
fucking with you.
I don't know where it is. I don't know if you're fucking with me. Ha ha ha! Joke's on the new guy, I guess. Huh? There's a body in there. Go clean it up. There's no body, so I guess I don't know what the fuck you want me to do.
And that's almost why I got to figure out the history. When she came over, was she already not emperor? She was still emperor, right?
That's why they brought her over.
Yeah, they brought her over as emperor. So as emperor, somebody died in her throne room and disappeared. The body disappeared.
Yeah.
God, he's really good.
Oh man.
I will say, I was trying to place where I knew him from, and I looked him up, and like, I must not know him from as many things as I thought. Love that actor. He's in Barry, playing like a, I don't know. They were all in the same group of Marines or something like that, and now he's law enforcement. I want to say FBI, but is finding out what Barry did and is doing. Barry becomes a hitman is the point of the show.
Whoa. Spoilers.
It's a comedy.
Okay.
So it's it's an HBO comedy, so it has these emotional moments. This guy is actually in the one of the more serious episodes
Oh.
where he goes, "Dude, it's basically another guy found out what Barry was doing, so he killed him." And he's like, "Dude, he was one of the good ones. Why you can't kill this guy?"
I wanted to mention real fast that Data No did tell them that the Terran Empire is coming. In that interrogation scene, she puts the pieces together that he's going to sell it to somebody. They're going to use that weapon here once they get here, or they're going to use that weapon to gain power, bring the mirror universe here to eat through the resources on this side and just enslave the rest of them. You're right. He wants to live comfortably here, but that doesn't make any sense because you're going to be back in the fucking Empire. So are you going to live comfortably here just because you have a shit ton of money from selling this thing? Is that really going to matter to the Terran Empire?
Are they going to take over under the threat of this weapon existing?
That's a good question. It's unclear the more I'm thinking about it because, like,
I got the distinct feeling that they were going to use the weapon and then strip mine the planets that were destroyed, which presumably could happen.
Sure, but in which case he still couldn't live here because he's here.
I also believe he's the one that mentions that one of the issues the Terran Empire is having, lack of ability to keep expanding, needs new territory, blah, blah, blah. But one of the words he uses is ecological destruction. So it sounds like they need more habitable planets, and an
Using this
absolute
weapon-
destruction weapon that incinerates planets probably not going to help
It's probably not gonna.
create more arable land to conquer.
So we have thought more about this plot than the writers did.
Yeah,
at
and
this
we
point.
haven't gotten paid shit.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. And then he says that Godsend learned about the Godsend from one of you.
Also, a conclusion there is no way he could have known.
Right. Not at all.
This is a known thing in the mirror universe. He talked about the fact that most people thought it was a myth. In any situation where most people think there's a myth, there is a group of people that don't think it's a myth, and that number, although it may be small as a percentage, is typically not one. So there's a group of people that don't think it's a myth over there, that know that this thing exists, not least of which is, leadership. The Emperor demanded that this be created. There's got to be other people that know that it exists.
Somebody's got to know.
She also demanded it got destroyed, so presumably the reason that he knows and other people think it's a myth, at least some of them, it's because it got destroyed. But the fact that he knows because it's being stored, again, he threw himself out there as like a guy that worked there. And he was being as honest as possible at that point based on presumably the threat under whispers that we, the viewer, were not privy to.
Yeah. And then the ship blows up. And they are magically beamed to safety.
Everybody but Data No,
because he played his part. He's done. Might as well blow the ship up.
Foot away from each other. He ends up on fire. What a brutal death.
For no other reason than there's fire in the scene. You know, he's on fire. There's fire.
If he was on fire because they didn't get him out, why is he on the surface?
Yeah. How did he get here? So now they split up. They are looking for. They're trying to turn the relay back on.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
this does jump up.
Uh-huh.
I can't believe it goes from that to that.
Basically, they try to like turn the radar on so they could call Starfleet, and the other crew. The whole bunch of finger pointing banter. Marvel banter it happens here. They think Sand wants to send Starfleet into chaos so the Empire can invade. Oh, wow, look. We have the missing pieces of the... Oh, that's after. Oh, yeah, there's the big action
they don't think
scene.
anything about Sand yet.
Yeah, they don't,
nobody knows he's alive.
Nothing yet. That's when they find... the relay is sabotaged by Mech Boy. The show is trying very hard. The movie is trying very hard to point the finger at Starfleet for a good chunk there. A
good chunk, but not that long.
No,
they
not long
literally, at all. There's not much reason to suspect her. Then Giorgio sees the hair and then inspects her and gets the blood on her fingernail. They cuff her, and then while they're about to get serious, they just go, "Oh, the tricorder finally logged into his camera."
Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh yeah.
By the way, again, I'm saying again. Maybe it's maybe I haven't complained yet on this recording, but only to you in general. The reason why it's bad to go back and forth in timing is, man, that tricorder looks like a smartphone.
It's this big. It's the size of a fucking phone. They're holding it horizontally. It's ridiculous. Yeah, so they think it's Mech Boy. They were looking for him. Blah blah blah. He's dead. They logged into the tricorder. They found the recordings in his head of him basically killing himself. The Vulcan was on autopilot, and then all of a sudden, it's a big action scene through the tunnels that are infinite and gigantic, and this lasts for a long time. Oh, it doesn't last that long.
Having watched it twice, they do set it up with him acting awkward, but it is literally one line that he acts slightly awkward.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, it definitely does not. Her figuring it out is almost too long because it shows everything that was said right before that, and then only at the end is all about him. And I was like, why not just remember that? You're going to be so obvious.
Yeah.
Is that supposed to confuse me for a second?
I have over here like big long JoJo putting the pieces together, because it's obnoxious how long it is of her just like thinking and like looking around all serious and just the movie gives us the audience from minute 59:11 until 1 hour and 2 minutes and 2 seconds for us to put the pieces together before we're told what is happening, and the action starts right there at 1 minute and 1 hour and 2 minutes in.
Yeah. I guess we're supposed to start putting it together because the last third of her doing it is all focused on the Vulcan. But oh my god, yeah, there was definitely fluff that needed to be half that length or shorter.
Oh yeah, way shorter. The action scene inside of the tunnels rushing through lasts from 1 hour and 2 minutes until 1 hour and 6 minutes. So that's a 4-minute fight scene that my heart wasn't. I didn't care. I wanted the scene to be over as fast as possible.
Yeah, I felt like it had some J.J. Abrams effects, and yet one of the issues with the J.J. Abrams movies is in order to make it feel like a lot is going on, I think the action gets a little messy. It's like hardcore zoom-ins on your hand hitting this or that to make sure you get the points, but with the background moving that fast, it all gets really muddled.
Yeah.
And I still can't figure out why this dude, who is a microscopic being that has his own ship that's the size of just barely bigger than him, doesn't just leave this body earlier.
Other than he wants it?
Yeah.
Other than he likes having a body?
I guess. There's also the issue of where he goes in and comes out and where the doors are and whatever, which is, I think, just a mistake that they realized later. They wanted it very eye-focused, where he was right behind an eye. That's where he gets stabbed, where the guy thinks he's going to kill him, and he goes, the funny thing is I'm on autopilot at the end. It's also where he flies out of, but when they first introduce him, they go down the throat. And you assume that he must be somewhere like down in the body.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, he refers to himself as being in the head of a Vulcan.
Fantastic.
And I'm like, did you just forget and not go back and edit the other one to make that go in through the eye?
Yeah. No, we're still... Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. That's so fucking awful. So they have a big powwow inside of the wrecked trash scout.
Scowl.
Scout? Scowl?
Only because I had
the subtitles
on. I don't know what a scowl is. SCOWL. That's what they kept referring to it.
Okay.
I should say, since we are going to move on to that, though, I believe it's at the end of that action scene where we do find out San is alive. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, right as he gets beamed away, he's like, you got played.
Yeah, my the last note of that section is San is big bad.
Yeah. Again, doesn't make any sense. You don't understand. He built up a resistance to this poison. That's not what's confusing about this. What's confusing about this is, one, if you build up a resistance to poison, you don't cough up blood. Two,
it just doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
You know?
I watched Princess Bride. I get it.
You should never enter. What is it? You should never enter into a bargain with a Sicilian.
You should never do a bet with a Sicilian when death is on the line.
When death is on the line. That's right. Yeah.
Wallace Shawn, one of the greats of all time, or Grand Negus Zach, if you will.
He was better in that was his best role.
Which one?
Zach, obviously.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I love Zach, but come on.
But Zach is just so goddamn good.
Inconceivable.
That's true. All right, you won me over. You know what? You did it.
You keep on saying that word. I don't think you know what it means.
Oh my god. God damn.
I might have to watch that again.
That's one of the perfect movies. That's a perfect movie.
It is.
I'll say it.
Yeah.
I'll say it.
My name is Diego Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Have fun storming the castle.
Oh man. And more Star Trek crossover to make this more relevant. Prince Humperdinck was in an episode of Deep Space Nine where he played Martis Major. He started a casino across the promenade from Quark.
Yeah. You know what? Oddly enough, I think the last time we hung out, you mentioned this as well.
Yeah.
This seems to be like your favorite fun fact. Your favorite DS9 fun fact.
It's not, but Martis Major is a name I always remember because it was my handle for a short period of time when I had an Xbox.
That may be the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah. I was like, you know what would be a good name? I got to think of one. I don't want to be too clever. And then I was like, I'm going to just take one from Star Trek. That'll be easy. I need a side character, so it's
Oh, yeah.
not somebody
No.
that people already know
Give
the
me
name.
Dax. You know,
No, that's ridiculous. Martis Major. That's a great name.
it's fantastic.
I wanted to go next gen and just find some of the weird names that Patrick Stewart pronounces in very uncomfortable ways and see if I could track one of those down. But I was in the middle of a DS9 watch, so I just went with.
It's fair enough. It's fair enough.
Yeah, it's a solid name, Martis Major.
I think just cousin Gala would be a good name. Be a good, online handle.
We meet him at some point, right?
We do. You
Okay.
do. Yeah, because he was doing an arms deal and he thought Cork could be useful.
Oh, that's a good episode.
Dude, any of the Ferengi, like the Ferengi episodes always they have a vibe of like Kramer and Newman's side stories.
It does mean a comedy episode, which
Yeah.
is always good.
It's like shenanigans. So one of the things, we have the ship is online. Jojo, he pulls out the missing piece out of his box, for the ship to actually work, and Jojo says, "Asshole." This is the first swearing
Yeah.
at this point in the movie, so I'm glad that they waited over an hour in before they started swearing, like unlike they do in New Trek. So that's interesting. Not that I'm a prude or anything. It just always seems that we've said fuck quite a bit on this episode so far, and it just seems that if you're going to make something that's got Star Trek on it, you fucking clean it up.
Yeah, it would be nice. It wouldn't even be nice. It would be, it would fit.
Yeah, when in Rome, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What is this? Oh.
A picture of Lawrence Tierney. I was trying to come up with the guy that was in the episode that had Cousin Gala.
Yeah. Yeah.
That dude is the one trying to buy and commit genocide.
Yeah. He's
Most famous for his time in Reservoir Dogs running the
operation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking that's why it's a great episode. Lawrence Tierney.
Can I be Mr. I don't want to be Mr. Pink. Can I be Mr. Brown? Oh, what color did it says? Does it say? How about orange? Can I be Mr. Orange? I don't know what it is.
Just stick with whatever name you have. Well, easy for you to say. Mr. White sounds cool.
Yeah, Mr. White sounds good. Why can't I be Mr. whatever, another color? Because that was a Mr. on another site, okay? On another job, okay?
God, we shouldn't loosely quote movies we don't know that well.
God damn, we're like fucking retards over here. So he pulls out the missing piece of the ship. Jojo calls him an asshole, and boom, we're on the fucking adventure.
Oh my God, that was it. Oh, I got to bitch one more time about a previous.
Hell yeah.
What is that signal being sent? Is the signal a smoke signal where a giant beam of fire plasma goes into the air? Because I don't think that's how you send signals across subspace to long distance people in the Star Trek universe.
Yeah.
To
it's
my
true.
knowledge, there was never a giant flame that
Yeah.
burst out of the top of a
Well,
thing.
Picard, when in Picard, where the android is trying to call the other androids from the other dimension or whatever the fuck, they build a beam.
Well, they did it better in the 90s when it was just whether you only knew it worked because it either read on the computer screen or the computer finally got power or whatever, you know.
It could light up.
We are about 300 years. Okay. We're about 150 years right now past physical signaling to distance people.
Yeah.
Like, how old's the telegraph? I think we're done with those things. I don't see.
Hey, we have more sophisticated ways of communicating.
Am I supposed to assume that giant red flame looking beam went to a place, went possibly to the other universe, the mirror universe?
He was signaling sand?
Yes,
Right?
that's what it seems. Yes.
Yeah. So
Has Sand made it over yet? He's coming through the portal in 4 hours, right?
No, he was the masked assailant at the space station at the beginning.
He was already there.
He's already here. He was going to buy the thing. But so where is that beam going? Like past solar systems? Is he like hanging out in that solar system? Did he follow them? If he did, why? To pick up the Vulcan? Why does he even need him anymore?
Yeah, you're done with him.
You don't need Data No, who they came to the planet thinking that he was still important, and you don't need the Vulcan, who actually is the saboteur. So what is the point of him double crossing the team other than to double cross him just in case Sand didn't make it out off the station with the weapon? He did, so he doesn't need his mole.
Yeah. Presumably to get himself out, but even that doesn't matter. Again, this small microscopic thing that has its own ship that's its own size makes most of what he does pointless throughout the rest of so far and throughout the rest of the movie.
So him double crossing them entirely is 100% pointless.
Yes. I guess delaying them, if he believes in Sand's plan enough, keeping them stranded on this planet, that doesn't imply the signal at all, though.
No.
So some of the sabotage makes sense. The signal makes no sense. And it doesn't make any sense that Sand would come and pick him up, of course.
Because presumably, wherever he is, he's going to that nebula where the rift opens up. Wherever he is going, from the space station to that rift is a straight line that he could go to, right? It's because it's space, right? Presumably, wherever that planet is that they are, it just so happens to be in the path of him going to that place.
You should have seen how straight the line of the outskirts of the Federation was.
The part where there's no treaties whatsoever. It's just
right angles,
jagged lines, nothing. You know how treaties are always kind of wishy-washy on where the lines are. Yeah. Not. When there's no treaties, that's when the lines get solid. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So it's pointless. He's entirely pointless. That's two 100% pointless characters in this movie so far.
The other one, Mel, got killed.
Yeah.
Of course.
Why can't we tell 31 is one of my notes. I don't know why. We can't tell 31. Oh, this was a big thing for me. The Alak tells us we have less than 30 minutes. This is when the ship is what did you call it? The scout, the
Scowl.
Scowl. The Scowl is lifting off the planet. He's like, all right, we have less than 30 minutes to get there and defeat Sand.
Yeah, are they giving a little information about how often this rift actually opens up?
They did, yeah.
But Sand's already here, so it doesn't matter whether it opens or not.
Yeah.
Presumably it'll be for more people coming, but that'll happen on a regular basis.
Yeah. So presumably all you have to do is get there before he makes a signal to the Empire to come here. And in which case, why would they come, in all honesty?
Yeah, again, is Sand the leader of this empire now?
I don't think so, because I think he's like giving the new universe to the Empire, which means that the rift would probably close before the Empire could get there.
Yeah, I mean, he's talking about him, but at the very end, he's talking about a more benevolent empire, but which her argument back is about a tyrant, so implying that he is the tyrant. But again,
well, he would be the tyrant if he was the head. He wants to be the head of the empire so that he can create a more benevolent empire. As poor. Don't laugh at me like that, you fuck. I'm on the spectrum, for God's sakes. You're laughing at a retard over here.
I don't think that's what on the spectrum means.
What?
Yeah, he can't be a more benevolent leader unless he's the leader, and yet, yeah, he's not the leader. He was a guy that faked his own death while the emperor was still the emperor.
Yeah, so whoever's running the empire, right, he has to send a signal to talk to them immediately. Convince them that there's a whole universe over here that we can invade and take the resources and enslave everybody else, and I should be the leader of it.
Yeah.
Huh?
Become leader first, and yeah, you can't do it
Or-
with a
or
genocide machine.
Or maybe he's going there. He's going to go it back into the mirror universe to become, to then have another entire adventure of becoming the emperor with the threat of the genocide machine.
Yeah, except for his plan already seems to be to do it on this universe.
Correct.
Prime universe. Yeah, it doesn't add up.
This doesn't make any fucking sense. So I was just very upset that they told us that we have less than 30 minutes, and we do. We're past that hour mark. We have less than 30 minutes into the movie. Than 30 minutes of the movie. Almost like the writers are like, "Don't worry, we only have 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
We're almost there. Just hang in there a little bit longer."
Don't worry, we didn't get the budget for a whole season.
Don't. Yeah, we got cut. Don't worry.
Michelle Yeoh said she does movies now. She's
She
not
won an
doing
Oscar.
full.
Okay. So they.
Is that Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Yeah.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah. Have you seen that movie?
I've not.
Neither have I.
I've heard good
really
things.
Good yeah. I heard really good things, but I have not seen it. So they warp to where the rift is going to open up, and it just so happens that they warp right in front of where the bad guy is.
No, of course.
Of course, right?
Well, he was in front of them.
Yeah.
Warp is just slightly faster. You can't really pass somebody.
And then I have some. Now the movie makes a point of, so the Sand shoots quantum torpedoes at them, and it hits their shields, and the show makes a point of saying, why didn't she move? Why didn't she take evasive action? Nothing, right? And I have that question as well. Why didn't she move? And the movie never explains why. We just have to damage the shields right off the rip.
Yeah, or how about the fact that when one of them is a warship and the other one's a trash scow, it doesn't take more than one shot to completely destroy it. Why you would take evasive actions and then say, oh, it only damaged our shields this percentage because we took evasive action. That makes more sense to me, personally.
Yeah, opposed to a civilian ship just being able to brush off a quantum torpedo, and then this stupid scowl grabs the ship with its tractor beams, which I can almost suspend my disbelief that she did some modifications.
Like that there was some dialogue ahead of time that makes that try to make sense.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
The way
But
it
that
works
warship-
is specifically about its tractor beams. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I can suspend my disbelief because she did more power to the tractor beams. This is how the whole ship works. Blah blah blah. But it is a warship that they're trying to grab onto. This warship can't break that tractor beam still.
I will say, and this is my one issue with DS9 and my one issue with the Defiant in DS9. There seems to be throughout Star Trek universe and maybe even sci-fi about this type of stuff in general. Size means something, so maybe sometimes like a large like for instance, if Voyager seems to be one of the most advanced ships in the Delta Quadrant, but they run into a ship that just takes trash to a abyss. That ship might be so
scout?
large. Did they call it that in that?
I don't know.
Remember either. I think they called it a barge in that one. But it's the bumpy, irradiated species that they only run into the people that do get rid of trash in this, and the it's not a rift, it's the expanse or whatever the hell they call it.
Cute.
That's not the expanse. What the fuck is it? Maybe they do call it that. Do they call it the abyss?
I think they call it
just
the
a long
abyss.
black
Yeah.
area. Yeah. But yeah, the sheer size of it made it more imposing than Voyager. He said he had weapons too, but I don't know why a trash
This one
barge.
doesn't. This scowl doesn't have any weapons.
No, it doesn't make. Well, he was trying to genocide a group of people while he was dropping this trash off. So I guess you need a few weapons.
No. Yeah, that kind of remind. We were just watching Sunny, and we were watching the episode where they were trying to give Frank an intervention, and they go see a therapist for like advice. And at the end of it, they're like, "You know what? You should be armed when you come to the intervention. You should probably bring a gun." Why would I be armed at an intervention? Well, Frank will be armed.
Frank's
gonna have a gun, and he likes to just shoot. So you should probably. I don't want to get shot, so you should. You know what? We're all gonna bring guns. We'll all be armed. You should be armed as well. It's like if you're gonna do a genocide, be armed.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. You're gonna make enemies.
Yeah. Chose not to change directions, and everybody is already all fucked up, as their shields are fucked up. They dragged the warship into the nebula, and it got fucked up from the radiation and stuff like that. He didn't try anything other. It's a warship. It can't fucking move out of the way. It's not faster than it. It's not trying. It's almost like he wants to get boarded and fucked up.
His seat looks very awkward in this bridge. It looked like a little go-kart inside of the whole. And I'm like, why are you about to take off in a smaller ship, in a smaller one-man ship? Nope. That's just the commander's chair.
I thought again, how is this garbage truck able to pull a warship? Again, just thinking about it throughout the scene again. Somehow the ship is already fucked up. Both ships are already fucked up. Chaos is my friends with benefits.
Yeah, that's just one terrible line in like 4 or 5 in a row. Heard Georgia once again saying this random thing that she I guess is supposed to be so smart that she can see more about another character than is on the surface, but I see no evidence that she was ever right.
No, none whatsoever. Why would you make this assumption about a lieutenant in Starfleet who aims to be a captain one day? So the only evidence that we have, again, like I said earlier, is that just the fact that Section 31 picked her to be on this mission, or Alok chose her, or somebody from 31 chose her to be on this mission somehow.
Yeah, I definitely remember that being part of the third of 4 terrible lines in a row. But yeah, chaos is my friends with benefits was the standout terrible thing to be said.
Yep.
Trying to use modern modern language that again doesn't fit the character. Doesn't fit any characters. We keep referring to it as Marvel conversation, the little sarcastic bits and whatever, but they're just not sarcasm coming from those characters. It's all meta. It's all as the audience, somebody else in the audience might say the sarcastic comment to the person next to them.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense for this character to say this sarcastic comment.
About herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friends with benefits, I don't even know if that'll be a phrase again in another 50 years, let alone a couple hundred years.
Right. Oh, there's some other millennial cringe phrasing later that just pissed me the fuck off. I mean, at this point, I was banging on this desk. I was yelling what the fuck? I was making an issue in here to myself and to others. You know what I mean? The shields are down. They beam over. The weapon is just on the bridge in plain sight.
Where else would you put it?
Not in some sort of secure location. This is a gigantic warship. It doesn't have any secure locations whatsoever. The weapon is, of course.
You want a riff for 2?
You what?
You want a riff for 2?
Sure.
Keep riffing. You're gonna end the pod.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I just everything about this stupid fucking show is just this movie just pissed me the fuck off. Every little aspect of it is just not Star Trek. It's just not Star Trek. And it's disrespectful to the Star Trek name. And like I was telling Kurt, I mean, watching this, I was just an issue. I was banging on the desk. I was screaming. I was almost crying. My wife had to console me. She hugged me and told me I was good, and that Star Trek will be good one day. And if it's not, at least we have the 90s still. And that's when she slipped a finger in and made me feel really good. Thank God. Thank God. She does the Lord's work, really. It's much better that way. Hey, I was just talking about how Jamie had to console me from how awful this show is by fingering me last night.
Oh, nice. I only felt like I got fucked in the ass while watching it.
Yeah. You see, the show was teasing me. It was like, it was fucking me in the ass mentally, but like, real, I wasn't
where's
getting
the
it.
feeling?
Yeah, where is it?
Where-
It wasn't happening. So
I'm impressed that you kept riffing. I thought for sure that was going to be a pause, and then I just walked back in, and you go, okay, pick up where we left off.
no. So the weapon is in plain sight. It's knocked over, and of course it's activated. Obviously.
Why wouldn't it be? Although only partially activated, because I'm pretty sure it says fairly early that it's waiting for a biological confirmation something.
Yeah, it needs it's got dots on the side, right? That illuminate, and it says something at the beginning of armed or beginning activation process or something along those lines. And the second one activates. I think it's the third one. When the third one lights up, it says now awaiting biological signature or something like that.
Yeah.
And so if it needs a biological signal to go, that signal would probably be Giorgio.
She could just let the whole weapon leave her sight, her surroundings in every way, and it would never run. She always said earlier, the one thing I can't beat is myself, and this weapon is myself, except for it needs yourself to even go off.
So you can defeat it by ignoring it?
Also, wasn't the whole point of the weapon supposed to be that if anybody wanted to assassinate her, the entire universe would basically be destroyed and there was no empire to rule? But if she was already dead, she couldn't actually activate the weapon?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my
In fact,
God.
who would activate the weapon for her even if it didn't need that? She expected it to go off after she died.
Whoa, what? What?
The look on your face of just I already didn't think any of this plot held together, but now I'm thinking way worse things.
It doesn't even how many writers were on Star Trek Section 31?
I don't think we've gotten to the most unbelievable part of it all yet, because that is just in the last minute and a half.
Three.
There's
three
whole
writers.
people thought about this.
Yeah. 3 writers. 2 for story, 1 for screenplay.
Oh, I really hate the screenplay guy. Nobody in story went asshole or what was the last line that you had?
Oh, chaos is my friends with benefits.
Oh God. Yeah, kill that guy. Can somebody kill him?
He did a lot of he wrote on Section 30. He wrote 13 episodes on Discovery.
Sounds about right. There's a lot of that.
I don't know what none of this is good. I don't know any of this that he's written. The Code, the 4,400.
These are probably huge things that we're just unaware of.
These are actually the biggest shows ever.
These are the most successful things he could have been on in the last decade. And I'm just I don't know what any of that
I don't know
means.
what any of this is. It's probably dog shit. Actually, it's the biggest thing ever.
Sure, he's a nice guy.
I'm sure his wife doesn't want to kill herself most days.
I take back somebody needs to murder him. That was just a cat. You're all right.
Yeah. The weapon is activated. Big fight breaks out on the ship. Blah blah blah. Somehow escape ship is not affected. Oh, the escape pod that the microorganism dude gets into out of the Vulcan to go cause chaos go kill the trash compactor fucking people. Just rams into the side of it, right? Isn't affected at all by the tractor beam.
Ah, yes, very, very nice little shuttle pod. Apparently, very powerful.
It's
More powerful than the full ship. Apparently,
it's more powerful than the full ship. So is this a fighter that's coming off of this warship, like a mothership and kind of thing? But no, it seems like they keep calling it a shuttle.
Yeah.
So it's some sort of shuttlecraft. It doesn't have any kind of weapons on it. I mean, even fucking the USS.
Yeah, name one of them.
They're all named after rivers. So
Those are runabouts.
fuck you. They're shuttles.
Fuck. You-
Runabouts are shuttle. You don't.
No,
you're
runabouts
right.
are a little bit bigger.
You're
they
right,
do
they're
go
bigger, they're
warp.
bigger.
You know,
They go
you're thinking of the
further along,
Yangtze
yeah.
Kian or the.
Yangtze, that's what I was thinking. Was Yangtze. Yeah. Yeah. But for some reason, I kept thinking Nile, and I was like, that's not it. I'm thinking about the other one.
They're definitely river names, but they were all slightly esoteric rivers. You know, who thinks about the Yangtze Kian right off the rip when you think of big world rivers?
Mesopotamian people. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Euphrates.
Yeah,
Tigris and Euphrates rivers.
yeah. I'm pretty sure that's in China.
No, it's in Mesopotamia.
Is it?
Yeah.
The Yangtze Kian?
Oh, the Yangtze. Yeah, that's probably China. yeah, right. Name like that. Yeah, the Chinese probably think about that, the river.
Why don't we know any other runabout names?
I think they're all named like Runabout 1. I think their names are. I don't think they have real names. I don't
No.
think they're. I'm sorry, not the runabouts. The
You're thinking
shuttles.
shuttles. Runabouts definitely all have river names, but I
Yeah.
swear there were a lot that were named. The Ganges, the Mekong, the Orinoco, the Rio Grande. That was, I think that was named during a show. The Rubicon, Shenandoah. I don't really remember that. Volga. I don't remember that. Yukon. And then, of course, the Yangtze Kiang. I think that's that gotta be in China.
Next Gen had weird names for their shuttles, like Einstein and Columbus.
Ooh, that's terrible.
One of the shuttles there was a shuttle called Indiana Jones. I think this one is Pontiac,
Oh,
like the
no.
car.
Well, you know, it's named after the city. It's where Detroit played football for many years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
Silver Dome. Now they're back downtown. And now our town is trying to do the opposite, move from downtown out into the burbs.
Yeah.
It's a terrible idea.
Yeah. It's 100% a bad idea.
Convenient for me, though. Be right down the road.
I guess.
Yeah, the next time I go to a football game,
Yeah.
that'll be a big.
You do a lot of.
It'll be very convenient.
really convenient for your tailgating addiction, huh?
Yeah, I mean, so far I've been to 0, so I think any time now I should start.
Now that it's more convenient for me, I should probably, really get into that whole tailgating thing. Now that I'm approaching my 40s.
I don't know that I've ever been to a professional football game, like in my life.
Really?
I think I've been to college a few times.
Yeah.
And big ones only like 2 or 3 times.
Huh. I went to a few Browns games when I was in high school, because my friend, his dad worked. He was a bigwig engineer at a plant in Chesterland that was like this big, and they only made one part for space shuttles, so they were fucking loaded.
The phrase "bigwig in Chesterland."
He was
Can
a
we-
bigwig in the company. I know. I have. That doesn't sound very crazy or anything like that. But
Oh my God! No, it's cool. My grandfather was probably the top dog in Pemberville.
it's a town I have I have definitely heard of.
I've probably mentioned it.
I think so. Probably. I just don't fucking care. But he had they had a Loge season long, entertain some of their clients and stuff, and there would be off weeks where they didn't have any clients going over there.
And that's something that you go down in a sled that Vice, right?
No, not a luge, a Loge.
Man, I was way off.
Yeah, you were close. It's my turn to fucking call you a retard. So the only football games I ever went to was maybe 2 or 3 with him to this Loge, where I wasn't watching football. I was eating. I was a fat kid.
This is so that's like a box, basically.
Yeah, it's like a box where they bring you food, and you have a balcony spot to watch the game and stuff, but there's a whole bar and everything behind you and stuff like that. Everything is you already paid, whoever bought the Loge for the season already paid for everything, so it's all free and shit. It was it was a lot of fun. But that was the only time I ever went to football games. But I think I had way more fun being in the student section at an OSU game. That was fun. I don't even remember who they were playing, but I got fucked up and just hung out. It was great.
That sounds like fun. I went to OSU for one football game. Didn't actually attend the game because tickets were going for, I don't know, thousands of dollars. My brother went because as a student, you could get some tickets at still the regular price, but it was, I was 20-ish, and Ohio State was number 1 that year. And their number 1, what do they call that?
Rival?
Their rival was, so Michigan was number 2 going into the last game of the season. They were number 1 and number 2 in the nation.
It's a big game.
Everything went for thousands of dollars. Yeah. My brother went to the game. The whole city was a party. I was so drunk by 1 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
That I went back to his dorm room and just passed out for most of the partying.
And
then woke back up for the evening. So it was actually a terrible experience. But I think I went to college for other reasons. I went to a Grand Valley State University game.
Okay.
Which is a Division II football team.
Whoa.
In Grand Rapids, Michigan, which took a long time to get to. It's a primarily nursing school, and it was they were apparently national champions multiple years in the previous 5. They were recurring. They were often enough that it was a 50-50. It was either going to be them or anybody else. And it still felt like going to a MAC game.
Yeah.
Because it's just D2 can only get so big. And I think every other football game I've been to is MAC. I went to one Michigan game. And it was against nobody, and it was miserable.
When I was at Akron, I was in the marching band. It was.
So you went to a few of these games.
I went to quite a few Akron games, as you could probably imagine. Our biggest rival was, of course, Kent. So that was the only traveling we did with the marching band. We didn't travel. We were just at home
you
games.
You go to even the other MAC games?
No, which is lame. Because occasionally, when I was there, Akron would play Big Ten schools. I mean, it was. You don't need to watch.
No,
you know what I mean?
They need something to pad the beginning of the season with. So they just the Big Ten school needs to pad.
Yeah. So I mean, the Big Ten school that we faced in my freshman year was OSU. And it was a complete blowout. It was obnoxiously bad. There was no way in fuck. It was an away game. We weren't going at all. And I was like, why would we bring the band to go play at OSU's band?
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
They would just be mad that we're taking up space on the field.
They'd march right down on you, in a literal sense, march over you and stomp you into the ground,
and then write Ohio over us.
The Northwest Ohio teams did that quite often. But luckily, when I was in high school, I think all the credit was given to some coach, but I couldn't tell you anything about him. But Bowling Green was actually good for a couple of years, and that was Toledo's rival, was Bowling Green, and they got a few games set up with Ohio State, and they were like close one year, and I almost want to say won one year.
They had the fifth string out there or something. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's early in the season. By the end of the season, Bowling Green was like top 25 nationally ranked.
Oh,
A MAC school, top 25 nationally. So you talk your shit.
yeah.
And
I
it's
will.
not like I'm a big fan or anything, so I don't give a fuck.
I was about to
But-
say, I was just thinking while you were rambling, not really making any kind of point at all or anything, kind of coming to a semblance of a point, but just not quite.
Yeah.
I was thinking this is the stupidest tangent we've had this entire time.
It's a little bit weird for two people that know nothing about
We know
sports in
nothing.
general to just
Let's
go
talk
on and on
sports
about football.
in a public forum.
Oh, yeah. No one will listen to this.
No.
Where are we at in this movie?
yeah,
You know
so-
what? I've suddenly become a college football fan because it's better than watching Star Trek now.
It's way better than this bullshit, dude. Holy fucking shit.
I can only watch DS9 and Next Gen so many times.
Oh my god. The microscopic alien tries to rams into the trash truck, flies away. She says you got to follow that trash truck. The lieutenant, you got to follow it. Don't lose it. I'm gonna go make a bomb. I'm gonna find something. She finds a toy. She plays with it way too long before
Way too long.
we think that it's important at all. So she's fucking around with it, and we're like, what the in my head, I was like, you're a Starfleet officer, a lieutenant, a senior officer, and you're distracted by a fucking toy. She proceeds to say, nope, that's when she's running away. I am a science officer. Science is controlled chaos. Chaos, chaos, chaos.
Science is not controlled chaos.
I would say that chemistry is, but not science in general.
I mean, I guess some chemistry experiments might be controlled chaos, but it's just not what it means.
No,
Science
not at all.
is the trying to figure out that. In fact, it is trying to make sense of chaos. The world is chaos. Science is an attempt to make things less chaotic.
When she was,
It doesn't always work,
when she
but
was,
that's the attempt.
yeah, when she was walking into the trash hold, she says, "I love chaos. Chaos is my jam."
Yeah.
Some of the best writing, probably. I think Roddenberry would be really proud of that.
I
that line
want
right
to
there.
kill. Who did we say? Yeah, whatever that guy was.
Oh, yeah.
The screenplay writer.
No, we should probably go to their house.
Oh yeah, somebody should.
Bo Yeon Kim was one of the writers. Erica, how do you say that name?
I don't know, but those are both story.
Yeah, we should kill all
Lippold.
these people.
No,
Lippold.
I think just Craig.
Just Craig. Yeah, we should send a ticking box to his house.
Craig Sweeney. God, they're still giving Gene Roddenberry credits on everything.
Yeah, he would be ashamed.
Yeah.
Look at the cover art of this fucking abomination. Look at that bullshit. Oh, gross.
Again, I wanted to watch Discovery specifically because of Michelle Yeoh. So
Yeah,
I don't know. Big picture of hers. I'm fine with it.
it's just the color. It's the modern fonts. It's everything. I just hate.
It's
I just
the way
hate it.
she's sitting.
Yeah, I just hate everything about it.
Yeah.
This is the part. My note is a hug. Question mark, explanation point, question mark.
I totally want it to work. I get the idea, but they didn't earn her trying to do that.
No, it's unearned entirely.
It's completely out of the
Yeah.
blue. It makes no sense. I can't tell which one of them is the one. Of course, they're both bad, and I don't disagree with the ideal behind something of two really bad people both trying to convince themselves that they're actually a good influence or good in some way.
Yeah.
But I can't tell which one the show thinks. Does the show think that San is really trying to create a benevolent empire? Does the show think that Giorgio has really turned over a new leaf? Is that something that I forget from Discovery, where at some point before her character leaves, she is starting to appreciate a less tyrannical world and a Starfleet ethic, for lack of better
I
definition.
guess. Yeah, I guess is the point is that that the movie is trying to make you think that she's turning over that new leaf and trying to make him turn over a new leaf too.
2 minutes later, she gets freaked out by a hug to end the show, to end the movie.
Yeah,
And
100%. She's
I
upset.
literally thought
She's
they
like-
were hugging each other and she was saying something sarcastically. But then when I realized how serious she was, I was just like, this just doesn't fit the way that anything's progressed. If somebody has a character arc, it would be that she would go, all right, I guess this group, I'll give you shit.
Yeah.
She might as well just give her shit and tease, because the amount of Marvel banter and joking and shit that's been going on, her just out and out saying, oh, whatever, sentimentality is terrible or something, whatever the fuck she said.
something along those lines. I wasn't really. I
Checked out by then.
I was so this hug. I mean, when this hug happened, I mean, I had to pause it. I had to walk away. I had to cool down. I had to. It was upsetting. I was very upset because like you said, it's unearned, right? There's nothing in the movie that makes you think that she has turned over a new leaf to like for a better Starfleet ideology or anything like that. She's still evil. She's still that chick, right? There's no sense of remorse on her face at all. Even when genocide is brought up, she's like, "Meh, I don't care. Whatever. It's unearned. And even if it is earned from Discovery, it's not earned here because you spent the entirety of the beginning of the movie showing us how evil she is.
Yeah.
And she was like, we are but two, but one, or whatever, with like her flashbacks.
She
and
said
shit.
it's over. That's part of the flashback.
That's part of the flashback is that shit's over. We're done with that. And she tries to use that again when he was about to kill himself. Was I supposed to think that was for real?
Yeah.
Because I thought that was just her manipulating him.
It didn't feel real.
No.
I will say, just because this is in the middle of that action scene, there was exactly one move in the action scene that I loved, which was her like doing like a twisting his arm. I think it had to do with her kicking her leg over it or something. But rather than that being the move in and of itself, or dislocating or kicking him afterward, she pulled him forward, knocking his head into the
into the blade,
some sort of arch or something, just a wall thing.
Okay.
And I was like,
Pretty cool.
that's a pretty good action move right
pretty
there.
good.
Like, they've
Pretty
been
good.
doing some bad stuff here, but that's actually pretty good. And part of me still wants to give the credit to Michelle Yeoh for just saying, this is how you choreograph a kind of kung fu movie.
Yeah, kind of cool. At this point is when the bomb is sent out of the garbage chute and into the military shuttlecraft where the microorganism is. And my note is that a military shuttle can find a toy in all of that garbage that's flying at it, because like the computer zooms in onto it and like shows it like, oh, this is bad, but it has time enough to find it, but not enough time to react to it. It's a military ship. It's a military shuttle. It still can't make any like high speed fucking maneuvers to get her out of it.
One would think. The toy said we're all gonna die as it was flying out.
It did.
It's a toy.
It's a
That
fucking
probably
toy.
shouldn't be part of.
Did you see? It's actually quite good, for the most part. But did you see the Mario movie?
I actually did. Yeah, it was better than I thought it was going to be.
Quite good. But there's a Luma, which is a star, in a cage in Bowser's castle. That's very dark, right? And this toy is the same vibe as that Luma, but in Mario, it's funny because it's in the Mushroom Kingdom. This
And
is Star Trek.
the character is depressed when it's saying these depressing things. This
Yeah.
is a toy with predetermined things to say that previously was spinning its head saying, let's be friends, or whatever the fuck it was saying when she picked it up, and has said other things that sound like pre-recorded lines that a toy would say.
Yeah.
And for no reason, as it's being shot out the back, it just says, you're all going to die, we're all going to die, something like that.
Yeah, we all of a sudden have awareness all of a sudden out of this toy.
Yeah.
Not like, what are you doing to my battery? Nothing like that.
Yeah, what
You know?
what was she pouring on it? Because it
Who
looked
the
like
fuck
something
knows?
that was very already
Piss.
like
She just pissed on it.
packaged to itself. Very nice,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
plastic bottle.
It's, she looked like she opened it and just kind of put, like, you know, like a soda. you
Yeah.
know? It was actually packaged piss.
I
they have
love
on
the
there.
amount of time that it takes to do it. Like perfect amount of time, really, if you think about it. Big explosion coming. Yeah.
So another cool kung fu choreographing. We've got the blade. She does a weird spin with her legs and kicks the blade back into him
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
slices his throat.
Not bad.
That's
Not
pretty
bad.
cool. That's pretty cool.
I didn't realize. I watched it twice in 2 days. I didn't realize till the second one that one of the things slowing the blade from going into her face is her foot,
Yeah.
which makes the kick make that much more
Yeah,
sense.
it actually does make sense for the
It's-
position and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
it's very that right there. Good choreographic.
Very
right there.
quick and very well done. Yeah,
And she says, "This is not what I wanted."
him dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, after she killed him.
He's already been dead in your head.
Yeah,
You
this
know?
whole time.
So I don't.
And he's given up. He's not the same person that she remembered. If she did want to turn a new leaf and want the good guy, he's no longer a good guy. He wants the expansion of the empire.
Yeah. And then like she goes, it's a very hard cut. It's a really bad edit, and it cuts to him, and he goes, "You were right. I still needed you."
Yeah. For what?
For what? Because you couldn't complete your task that you have. Nobody has any idea actually what you want to do at all, other than become emperor.
And she says before this, I guess I'm going back a little bit, but there's no such thing as a good tyrant. You taught me that.
Yeah.
It's not that I disagree with that sentiment. Tyranny is bad. But did he ever say that specifically? I think he was always of the opinion that as the emperor, you have the power to do something better and you're not doing it better.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever said
No.
a tyrant
Never.
in general is bad. It's not a lesson she ever picked up. It's not a lesson he ever tried to teach.
It's also not a lesson anybody from the mirror universe would have. They would just say that you're being a they would
It's a lack of options. If you have all kings, then you want a benevolent king over an
Yes.
evil king.
Yes.
You don't necessarily think to yourself, why don't we have democracy?
right.
If you're in medieval Europe, you
Yeah.
don't think that. You
Right.
just go, God, the last one was better, or maybe the next one will be better.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
It's not an option in your head.
Yeah. Okay, so then so this is at the point where they're going to suicide themselves to into the wormhole because she activates the weapon, and the idea being
For no
that
reason again.
they're
Yeah.
going to toss it into the mirror universe, and
That makes more sense than what
destroy-
they seem to do.
That's the impression I got, was that they were going to activate it and then ride the ship into the.
They accelerated towards the portal or whatever it is. Rift.
You can't just beam the weapon into the mirror universe.
Either one.
You can't beam off of the ship onto the trash truck.
If you know what a nightmare it is, don't you make sure it explodes in a different universe? It's going to wipe out a quadrant, as she said, in
Yeah.
no matter what universe it explodes in, which, by the end of the episode, is this one.
Is it half and half? Because I'm not sure. Because how are they that close to this thing that's supposed to destroy an entire quadrant, and they just wake up? Come on, wake up, silly head! You're still sleeping.
It seems to me that the idea is that it ends up destroying the rift itself and not either universe, which, for the amount of bullshit sitting around and talking exposition, I need 30 seconds of exposition that says, hey, this thing could just blow up the portal rift thing itself.
At least plant the seed of that being an idea.
Anybody coming up with that idea would have been fine. Just
Fantastic.
a slight bit of this is the new plan.
Yeah.
Yes, no matter which universe it blows up in, a quadrant should be gone, and as far as I can tell, it blew up in the Prime universe. The Alpha Quadrant should be gone. Not only gone, I don't know why they keep describing it in these weird ways. It says that it goes from planet to planet, incinerating everything. And then when they talk about the reaction to it, they go, oh, Starfleet will be scrambling.
No.
What do you mean scrambling?
No,
there
they'll
is
be-
no Starfleet.
They'll be done.
There's no Federation. There's also no Cardassians
There's
or...
no Klingons. There's no Romulans. There's no nothing.
They're all gone.
Gone. No Borg. They're gone. Whatever Borg is it?
It's
sure,
only,
too early.
it's only
too
going to go
early.
a quadrant.
It's too early.
There's
So,
plenty in the Delta.
Yeah, they're still there. They're not even in the Alpha
Idiot.
yet. There's no any. Go fuck yourself, you piece of shit. Look at you with your fucking hat and hoodie. What your the things on the end of your fucking hoodie strings, are those metal? Yeah, they're fucking metal.
Yeah.
How much you pay for that hoodie? Too much.
I got this bitch at TJ Maxx. It
Oh,
didn't
yeah?
cost $15 or something
Nice.
like that.
Nice.
15, 20, somewhere in
Okay.
there.
Yeah, of course it's blue. You fucking blue bitch.
I haven't got a hoodie in like a decade and a half, so I went and bought 3 at once.
Feels good, right?
It's pretty nice.
I like a hoodie.
Yeah.
You know, don't.
I've
don't
never
look at
seen
me.
you wear a hoodie. I see a lot of cardigans
I
over
love,
that way.
I love a cardigan.
Yeah.
I love a good cardigan.
Yeah, I got to get back into those.
This is a good cardigan, but it's just like it's too long to like wear out anywhere.
Yeah.
It's nice for the house, you know. It's a good reading cardigan.
I've been watching a lot of 80s and 90s television. You need more color. Those old sweaters,
Yeah,
man.
I know.
They had some fashion.
I found this. I think he's a TikToker, but occasionally he shows up on my Instagram feed and stuff. But he breaks down like why, on a technical fashion level, like certain outfits in '90s shows are good, and he loves doing Seinfeld. Like he'll like take a Kramer outfit and be like, "This is just fucking top notch. This is just perfect." You know.
It's not bad. Now, I'm not going to defend everything Bill Cosby's ever done, but man, he could wear a sweater.
There's a clip on Theo Von's podcast. I'm sure Scott.
I thought it
has-
was going to be Theo from The Cosby Show.
Oh yeah, he's got his own podcast. now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's called Surviving. He wasn't interested. Sad face.
Ironically, he probably does have his own podcast, and it
who
is
the
about old television or something.
Probably.
It's all about a different world because he doesn't want to bring up Cosby.
Yeah. It's not. He never mentions the Cosby Show at all.
Yeah.
It never mentions it.
Hey, so a different world is like kind of a spin-off. No, it wasn't.
No.
It was its own
No,
thing.
it was its-
My character's name actually
They
changed.
had their own fans. They didn't even know about that other show.
Wasn't Lisa Bonet also in it? Well,
Well,
don't.
come on, shut the
leave it
fuck
alone.
up. Yeah, Joe's on the Cleveland show too.
Right. Doesn't mean they're related.
Yeah, I mean they're from the
They're kind of related.
Kind of does. But there's this clip on Theo's podcast where he's talking to Cat Williams, and Theo goes like, "Did you ever get to meet Bill Cosby?" And it's silent for a second, and he goes like, before he had all those troubles and stuff, I don't imagine you would probably ever admit to being a part of any of that. And Cat looks at him just like, do you think rape is one of those issues he was working through?
Phil asked me what I thought about Cat Williams the other day. Ever since he's been back in the spotlight, and I was just like, fucking, he had 2 awesome specials, and then one where he'd started getting in trouble, and the whole special was just kind of him bitching about the media getting on him about whatever. And I was like, and then he came back, and he, hadn't seen him in years, and
He lost a fight to a teenager.
I always forget about that part. And then, he has this little rant on Shannon Sharp's show. I did not know Shannon Sharp had a show until he had this rant.
He's over there just being as schizophrenic as possible.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp, I read 500 books when I was a child.
And, it's like all bullshit, but quite a bit of it was actually funny.
Hilarious.
Very
It's a very
funnily
good
worded.
riff. Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, what do you think about the things he's saying? I was like, well, I don't care. If he's funny then it's funny.
That's all that matters.
If he's not, then I don't want to hear him. But as far as like, I don't know, what industry plants and shit like that, I'm like, yeah, anyone that's successful is an industry plant. The industry has decided to make you successful. Otherwise, you would be a fringe artist, not a successful popular artist. You know what, Kat? You were a plant. At some point, they decided that you were worth investing in, and they invested in you.
Yeah.
And
sure.
then you became a liability. You said some crazy stuff out in the world. People kept running into you a little bit fucked up and this and that and the other. And you said some weird things while you were doing that. And they were like, let's go with somewhere safer. And, Kevin Hart will never be anything but safe as fuck. Does that make him
that's all he is.
An industry plant?
Well, yes, but yes.
Everyone successful is an industry plant.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It just means the industry has decided to invest in you the way they used to do with you, Kat, until
Good
they
point.
thought you were risky and might not keep making them money.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I don't care about his rants, but
Is that what Phil was asking? Was like, what do you think about the substance of what he was of Cat ranting on Shannon Sharp show?
I never really came down to it because after I explained all of my opinions on him, he goes, "Oh, I never thought he was funny to begin with." And I go, "Oh, so you're just asking me whether I think Cat Williams is funny?" Which, like, I do. Like, I think Cat Williams is funny. He's a funny guy.
He's hilarious.
He words things in funny ways.
Yeah.
He might have ridiculous opinions, but when he says them, they're still worded in clever and interesting ways that I laugh at.
Yeah.
And, when he's a little, small business owner trying to be a pimp in The Third Friday, I'm going to laugh. It's pretty good. He was almost, there probably shouldn't have been a third one. He was kind of the saving grace.
Yeah.
2 was fine.
Have you ever seen those clips of him having an alligator in his house?
No.
I think that is what's that one kid from Community? What's his name? The black kid from Community. He did a little bit of stand up for a while, then he became a rapper. Then now he's been doing some TV show. I think it's called Atlanta.
So it's not Chevy Chase.
Very good.
He was a rapper first and then became an actor and comedian and then went back, but I can't think of his name. I now know who you're talking about. I can picture him right now.
Yeah.
But
his rap name was Childish Gambino.
Oh, yeah. Then why are you asking me?
What's his real name?
That is his real name. He came out with the second name later. He told people his government name after we knew him as Childish Gambino.
So if I look up Atlanta, it's going to come up with Childish Gambino as the star.
Well, I don't know, but if you look up the guy, the main dude in Section 31, you'll see that he was on a show called Power. But if it says Curtis Jackson is the producer and I call him 50 Cent, I think it's totally I think that's totally fine. I can call him 50 Cent. He was known as 50 Cent a long time before most people knew him as Curtis Jackson.
Huh.
Unless you knew him personally.
I didn't.
I'm not from Queens.
I didn't know him.
I knew him as 50 Cent first.
I'm pretty sure
Donald Glover.
that's it. Donald Glover. I'm pretty sure Cat Williams is. I think it's this show that Cat Williams is in for just a little bit.
Like guest stars?
Yeah, and he's this crazy dude who's related to Donald Glover's character in some way. He's in his house, and he's like, don't go in there, don't go in the bathroom because the gator's in there. He's like looking at him like, what the fuck you mean there's a gator in there? And then like all of a sudden there's like the cops are at the door, and he's like, come on man, we gotta talk to you for a few minutes. And he's like, I'm not going out there, I'm not talking to you. You don't have any right to talk to. And he's being just cat, just loud,
mile a minute talking.
Yeah, just go, and it's like, you don't have any reason to pull me out of my house. I have no reason to talk to you, nothing. And he's like, and if you don't get off my fucking porch, I'm gonna pull a gator out. And he's like, and the cops are like, you don't have a gator. And the kids are like, yes, you do. That's the Gator Man. He's like, the kids aren't lying to you. There's a gator in here.
Yeah, I might need to watch that show. I've been recommended it by too many people.
I don't know about that, but at least that clip.
Yeah,
No.
I'm done with that.
So the bomb goes off. Big white flash. We don't see what happens, but somehow Quasi gets him off of the ship some fucking how that we don't see. I do like that guy. I like him as an actor, and he delivered his lines very well.
Straight comedies, but yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't like him. It's just wrong.
It doesn't fit.
It's just wrong.
No, it doesn't fit at all.
Somehow he's able to get them off of that ship, and everything is fine, and everything is okay again.
If you were a shapeshifter, would you make yourself look a little bit chunky?
No.
No, nobody would.
No.
No offense to the guy at all.
No.
I've been a little bit chunky myself.
I'm
but
a little
just
chunky right now.
If I was a shapeshifter and I had the option, I would go with no.
No. Yeah.
I'd be pretty ripped, to be honest. I don't know if that works, whether your muscles work or whether you just look that way, but that's the look I'm gonna go for.
I don't know. He seems
pretty strong.
He seemed fairly strong. I mean, there was the one part where Alok was going to fall off of the fucking cart. And he jumped out. He shifted and grabbed him, and everybody was fine.
Yeah, it became a big spider web thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't look right.
No. So does this mean there are 2 shapeshifter races in Star Trek?
At least I feel like others might have been mentioned.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, you're probably right. Shapeshifter seemed pretty new with Odo and the founders.
Yeah. 3 weeks later, we're back on JoJo Station. Rock music plays again. That does not fit. Section 31 is back.
Rock music might be my least favorite part about First Contact. Those are decent songs. He's playing on an old school jukebox, whatever. It fits a little bit. I don't need it.
Huh. That's fair.
Just throwing it out there.
Huh. I don't think I have a strong opinion that way or another. If it fit, I think it fits only because like it is like the 90s when that movie was made, right? It was like the early 2000s, late 90s.
Late 90s, yeah.
And if you were thinking of something that was like in the future and antiquated, you would probably think of like rock music because like the eugenics war starts in the 90s in the Prime universe. So like something in a before time, before things got weird, would have been rock music. And then the eugenics war and then World War III. And now we're in like a post-apocalyptic world. Something that like survived might have been an old school jukebox that is already antiquated when things started getting weird.
All right. I'll give it to you.
Nice.
Still
nice.
My favorite thing to see in a Star Trek. It makes more.
Nice.
It makes some sense.
I don't like it as part of the soundtrack of a scene.
No,
like
no.
Zooming in onto a space station and I hear rock music.
I mean, I don't want it to be how they take out a whole enemy in the third J.J. Abrams verse. You know.
Yeah.
And let's not think about that because I'm about to throw up now that I just remembered that scene. It exploded all of our ships. We just can't take all that loud music.
Oh my God, kill yourself.
There's apparently that whole alien race was like stuffy 50s moms.
Protesting Elvis.
Yeah, they were. Who is that? That's I think in the first Back to the Future, the guy that yells "That's too loud," I think is actually Huey Lewis.
Really?
Because later they use their music in a bunch of it.
I don't know.
I could be wrong. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Huh?
I probably shouldn't record saying things like that.
You might as well.
Fuck it.
The lieutenant that was in Starfleet got a promotion for this operation. She got a promotion. She wants to be captain, remember. She got a promotion to a staff position, right? Lieutenant commander, right?
Yeah.
So what does her service record say? It's just blacked out?
You got me. How does a science officer become captain anyway? She wants to become a captain, but she's not going through command channels. She's going through science officer channels. They don't become captains.
Wasn't Janeway a science officer?
Not that I know of. The only person I remember being a science officer becoming a captain is in the future from Next Gen, they will sometimes show Dr. Crusher becoming a captain, but
Yeah.
she's a captain of a medical ship.
That's different. That's
One would think they're all wearing
different.
blue.
Yeah. Yeah, she got a promotion from a Section 31 op, which what the fuck? She says, and I quote, "You're a bad bitch."
Yeah.
Yep. And I love that for us.
Yeah. I hate those lines. They all talk about the lack of trust and the genocidal mania and all that. And it is kind of like pick your lane. Like, is she turning over a new leaf, or are we all saying this still? And nobody's going to make the second movie, so I don't know why set it up anyway.
Yep.
That's a guarantee. That's not
Oh
gonna
yeah,
happen.
this is. Oh yeah, we're gonna take a look at one of my favorite things from this movie in a second. But Section 31 gives us a hologram for their new op, their next adventure,
Oh, yeah.
and it's a hologram of Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
And I had to pause it. I had to say fuck you. I got up. I had to pace around a bit. I was pissed. Jamie Lee Curtis is much better than this slop that was on this fucking. This is just pure fucking modern sci-fi slop, and Jamie Lee Curtis fucking puts her goddamn name on it.
Yeah.
I also didn't like that the Section 31 like hologram thing shows the Starfleet icon before it goes up, because that's the. I mean, are you Starfleet or not?
Yeah.
You're 31.
Presumably not Starfleet.
Isn't that-
Hidden.
Yeah. The one of the things you tell Bashir when 31 was trying to recruit him, just take your badge off.
Yep.
Leave that here. So what the fuck are we doing?
Also, they are representatives of the Federation, which would be separate from Starfleet because Starfleet is older than the Federation, and this is a section of the Federation Charter and really not a Starfleet section whatsoever.
Yep. So what the fuck? They say the next mission is on Torcon 4.
Oh,
And then
God,
they
I forgot
make-
about those jokes.
And then they make a bunch of riffing jokes off of one of them being Your Mama 4.
Yeah. You want to talk about things that should not exist in 40, 50, 60 years, let alone a couple hundred years. Yo mama jokes are going to be gone.
They're gone now.
They've had their time.
They're gone now.
Um,
Michael Scott killed them.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah, it's trash. It's absolute trash.
Yeah. In 200 years, we'll have things that have been dead for 20 years already.
So, let's see. This is one of my favorite things about this goddamn show. The only good thing to come out of it is it did not do well.
Holy
It
crap.
did not do well. We just pulled up the Rotten Tomato scores of 18% from the tomato meter, whatever the fuck that means, and 16% popcorn meter. So even the critics hated this movie.
That's actually a tomatometer.
Eh.
I love that you took that slightly seriously as you looked back at it. I was like, is that it? That is actually awesome. That makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah, and the comments are just like, don't waste your time.
That confirms the guarantee that it will not get a sequel that they were clearly setting up as well. Well, hopefully that confirms that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just complete trash. This chick rated 3 out of 10. No, you don't need to rate it that high. Yeah, it's just garbage. It's just all garbage. 44 people decided they needed to put comments out. This is without a doubt the weakest installment of almost 60 years of Star Trek history. No one can fault the cast for giving it. I can.
Which part of the cast?
Yeah. Star Trek 31 leaves you with one thing. It's that the Final Frontier, which is future spin-offs, might be best left alone. Very good. Yeah, these are great. You people gave it positive ratings? It's 6 out of 10. Give us a spy show in Kurtzman universe is a win. Kill yourself. aesthetics of 31 feels the most removed from any conventional Star Trek show, but in many ways it aligns with the new Star Trek we've been getting, like season 3 of Picard. That's your review?
Well, I mean, I can see. What was that? What was his rating though?
He did a B minus.
B minus. Still not exactly positive. I mean, I could see that in that. Oh, there's some good cinematography. As much as we were making fun of the line reads, there's some of it that's not the worst acting. And season 3, the best season of Picard, still had a lot of, stupid characters out of character making sarcastic commentary on the overall show, which is the problem with all modern Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's all terrible. Again, I didn't find it that much worse than other modern Star Trek, but I just don't like modern Star Trek. I'm a 90s Star Trek guy. Like,
yep.
Just gonna be. Or, 70s and 80s if you consider the original cast movies. They are not bad, and I highly recommend them.
All right. Yeah, I'll watch them. Fine. I'll watch them. You know what you should watch, though? So I was telling you that we finished watching House. And all right, the new show that we started watching is Twin Peaks.
Oh yeah, that I have actually been meaning to watch.
Bro, it's so good.
That was right up there with St. Elsewhere of old shows that I always just heard were so good that I needed to watch. Not related in any way. St. Elsewhere is a hospital drama.
Is it a soap?
Like a daily show?
I just mean that that soap opera-y type of character development,
I think what's good about it is it is slightly better than that. There's
nothing wrong with that. Fuck you.
Well,
Looking down on soap operas. You like Star Trek.
Yeah, soap operas are pretty rough to get into, fair. But I would say, a little less soap opera than ER.
Okay. All right.
And it's a bit of a precursor to ER, to be honest. It's got some recognizable old faces. The young guys ended up all having, movie careers. It's Denzel is a very young man. Ed Begley Jr. A couple other recognizable faces, but yeah, it's just a hospital drama that's a little bit less over dramatized. Sometimes they just have a regular day and that's an episode. Or when bad things happen, they react like real people rather than background music having to come in. It's sad and bad things happen and it's just people dealing with it rather than overdone score and tons of crying. They're doctors and they just stare downward thinking about how a bad day just happened and somebody died. And I think a doctor in a hospital, that's a much more realistic reaction than somebody going and sobbing in a corner, which to the audience, I get it. We're watching somebody die and we're all human beings. So we're we get it. You would sob in a corner. But an ER doctor can't do that because sometimes people die. And if he went and sobbed in a corner, then he's not he's not working on the next guy. So it seemed a little bit more.
That's fair. I want tears.
Yeah.
I want you to cry.
It makes for a more emotional show. I'm sure somebody cried at some point in it.
They better.
I heard. I don't even think I've finished the series, but I'm pretty sure the series ends with a twist, and that the entire series is a dream.
Oh, lame.
I never got to that point though. I don't know what the point of that would actually be.
Yeah.
I could be mixing up with another show. That's how much I haven't watched it.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta watch Twin Peaks. We're 5 episodes into the first season, and by halfway through the first one, I was like, "This is." I probably said out loud that this is my new obsession. Is fucking Twin Peaks.
You should have gotten further than that before telling other people how they need to watch it. What if it gets bad halfway through the first season? How many episodes?
8.
8 is the whole season?
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
Is the whole
you're right.
First season. Season 2 is much longer. And then season 3 is the same size. It's like a regular show, like 20-ish episodes or whatever.
And that was network, right?
Yeah, ABC.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first season, it's David Lynch has got a big part in the writing and directing and stuff like that. Season 2, he's not there. Apparently, everybody says season 2 sucks, and they blame David Lynch not being there on why it sucks. And then he comes back for season 3. Then there's also a movie, and then they released another movie called The Missing Piece, which is literally just a collection of deleted scenes from the first movie, which the fans have compiled into its own mini-series of the movie and the deleted scenes to make something called The Lost Season.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I think you get through the first episode, you're probably, I mean, I wanted to call you when I was done with it. I wanted to call you to be like, whatever you're doing, stop it and start watching this show.
What's it streaming on?
So we've been watching it on Pluto, which is like a free app that gives you like live TV and stuff like that. But I don't know where else it would be streaming. I know that that's where we started watching it. I don't know.
Why did it?
Yeah, now my right side is all off. That's weird.
Yeah, it's real fucked.
Yeah. You hear me in both? Both cans? You hear me? Yeah? 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 Yeah?
No.
No?
I think it's affecting my left side.
Huh. That's weird.
Well, it looks like we're going to have to sign off due to technical issues.
Oh, wow. What weird issues that is. Okay. Well.
This is one in the bag for Section 31, the Star Trek movie that nobody asked for, but we still got.
Yep. And I hope everybody that was involved in this movie, every single person, I hope they die horribly, slowly, and alone.
Except for Michelle Yeoh, who I wish will be in many more movies.
Yeah, except for her.